fight, we came to win. We lost before, but never again. Back on our grind, you know what it is. Yeah, this is our year. Knock us down once, we got up again. Put in the work, so I know we gon' win. This is for real, we never pretend. We gotta win, win, yeah. I had to stop being basic. All of my dreams had to chase them. You counted me out, I counted me in. Fell off before, but never again. They boxing me out, I never fit in. Never will fold, never could bend. Just wanna win, win. Wake up, I had to stay up, took a few pay cuts, I had to save up. Now they can't say much, changing the game up. Back on my grind like I never left. Gotta take this to a level up. Gotta stay focused, can't mess it up. Gotta move smart, cause I know that they testing us. I'm in my bag, no longer checking the tags. Remember the days I wanted this bad, now look where I'm at, I cannot be mad. Jumped in the game and I did the dash. There's no looking back, can't live in the past. I know that you sad, go get you a bag. All of this winning is making you mad.
So not sleeping in, not sleeping in.
Just wanna win. We came to fight, we came to win. We
welcome IKON Youth. We are so excited to be here today. If you're in the comments right now, spam them with your team colours. Last week was insane. It was so intense. Not to be biased, but Gold Diggers pulled it out of the bag last week. Yeah! Don't worry, Interfuego. We prayed for a comeback this week. Don't worry. Guys, we've got so much to look forward to tonight. Don't forget to like and subscribe right now. And if it's your first time today, we want to give you the warmest welcome. So guys, just give them so much love in the comments. And don't forget, it's Katie Harris's birthday today. So make sure you wish her a good one. Why don't you put in your favourite Katie quote? Mine is definitely the one where she dances like this. So funny. So guys, we've got so much to look forward to. After a countdown, we've got the wheel. Last time we played the wheel, Hannah Clapham just smashed it. She won those Converse. But this week, we've got round 2. So if you're excited, if you're ready, let's just put loads of comments in. Let's get ready, get prepared, and let's go for the countdown.
It's time for
The wheel.
the wheel! Yeah! So, just while we're waiting for a couple more people to join, I'm just going to make a plea. If you are meant to be involved right now on the wheel, please join the Zoom call.
Please.
We've sent you the link. Please make sure you're on it, otherwise the whole plan just goes up in the air.
IKON Media just joined.
Well done.
Way.
Thanks, IKON Media. So, basically, the way this game works, if you watched Youth Revival Night, you will know that it works in a certain way, a wheelie way. And the wheelie way that it works, right, is basically
Get to it,
we have
come on.
got 3 contestants, okay? 3 contestants tonight who are Lily, Hannah, and Ben. So why don't we give it up for them in the comments?
You'll meet those guys when we get started.
Yes, and they are going to take part in trying to answer as many questions with our experts as possible. We've lost the Zoom meeting.
Zoom just crashed, everybody.
Okay, just technical difficulties. We're going to get there. It's going to be fine.
It's connecting.
It says it's connecting.
Anyway, we have got 4 special youth leaders, 4 youth leaders who are experts in 4 different subjects. And what's going to happen is our young people will be selected to play, and they will choose a category, or they choose an expert.
No,
then we give them a random category.
They choose a category.
I don't know.
They choose a category. It's all right. We talked this through before. They choose a category, and we then spin the wheel to match them with an expert. The aim is to try and get the expert in that category. If they don't, they could end up, for example, we had Imi trying to give answers to Pokemon questions at Youth Revival Night.
I feel like I've blanked half of this from my memory, so
dear,
George is in
Rosie.
charge. We're still waiting, though, for...
We've got Lewis. Lewis needs adding in.
Lewis is here. Is that everybody?
Yes. So I think now what we can do is introduce our experts for our categories. So you guys who are going to be taking part, you're going to meet our experts right now, who are, firstly, we've got Chrysula. Let's give it up for Chrysula. Her expertise is Disney. We have got Macaulay, whose expertise is football. We've got Chloe Wakelin, whose expertise is High School Musical.
Classic. Well done, Chloe.
And we've got Lewis, whose expertise is Marvel. Okay. Basically, we're trying to get a winner. What we have to do is get rid of all these. We need to mute the crowd. The crowd are too rowdy right now. Okay? We're going to get through all the categories on the wheel. When we get to the final rounds, okay, we are going to give you 3 categories, and you will be able to choose the expert you want to help you answer the final category questions, okay?
You'll get it as we go along.
It's one of those
Just nod
games.
and
It's
smile.
one of those games. You'll pick it up as we go along.
Right, should we pick our first young person?
Yes. So, Tom, who is the master on the wheels, okay? Tom, can you spin our wheel to find out which contestant is going to be taking part first tonight?
Oh, it's down there.
Who
It's
we
so
got?
tiny on the screen. Lily?
Lily! Okay, Lily, can you unmute your mic for us so we can talk to you? Lily, say hello when you can. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Yay!
Excellent. Great stuff. So, Lily, you now know the categories, okay? You know the 4 categories.
We're going to repeat them, though. Disney, Marvel, football, High School Musical.
She's remembered. Okay. Lily, can you tell me which of the 4 categories you would like to answer a question in?
Marvel.
Oh, she's gone
Solid
for
choice.
Marvel. So we know Lewis is our Marvel expert, but will you be able to match him on the wheel? Tom, can we spin the wheel and give Lily an expert to work with?
And Nate's going to tell us because my eyesight's not good enough for that tiny little screen.
It's Lewis!
Nailed it!
We got it. Excellent. Okay.
So, Lewis, you can unmute your mic and you're going to help Lily answer this question. It's multiple choice.
Sorry.
Excuse you.
Thanks, Lou.
Lily and Lewis, you're going to get 3 answers. It's multiple choice.
Yes,
So wait
it
for the
is
answers
multiple
first.
choice. So Lily
Okay.
was confident on Marvel, and Lewis is the expert. So I've gone for a harder question.
Go on then, go on
Okay, here's our Marvel question. In Ant-Man, which animal does Darren Cross unsuccessfully shrink? Is it A, a duck, B, a hamster, or C, a sheep?
You can discuss together.
Lily, Lewis, take it away.
Okay.
Do you know this or
No, I don't.
it's a sheep?
Okay. I'm trusting you.
I'm assuming you're going to go with Lewis's answer then, Lily.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm
it
gonna
was.
stick with sheep. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
So they went for C, a sheep. I can tell you, it was a sheep. Lewis has gone mental.
Yes, I did it again.
Okay, Lily, you're still on the wheel, and you have taken Marvel off the grid. Okay, Lewis, can you put yourself back on mute? But Lily, it's your turn again. You've now got High School Musical. You've got Disney and you've got football to answer questions on. Which category would you like next?
Me, please.
Say that again for me, sorry?
Me.
Disney.
Disney.
Yeah.
Okay, Disney. So
Disney is Chrysula.
we're trying to get Chrysula.
We'll see if you get Chrysula when you get the category.
This will be amazing if it's Macaulay. This
I'd
would be
love it.
hilarious.
I'm waiting for that.
Anyway, Tom, can we spin our expert wheel, please? It's Chrysula! We are matching them up on the wheel tonight. This is so good.
Now, we modified this game slightly to make sure that all 3 young people got on screen tonight. But if you're this good, Lily,
If you're this good, nobody
Maybe
else
there's
is
no
getting on the
hope.
wheel, so well done. Okay, so here we go. Chrysula and Lily, how old is the sea turtle Crush in Finding Nemo? Is he A, 99, B, 120, or C, 150?
All I know is he's still young.
150.
Oh.
I'm really
Chrysula doesn't
Yeah,
want to
Nemo
discuss
did.
with you,
He
Lewis.
was 150 years old. So when he sees his dad again.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they've gone with C, 150.
Let's see.
It's right!
Yeah!
Lily is rolling right
Smashing
now.
it. You're going to have to make these questions harder.
I thought I'd done pretty decent.
That's
Okay.
not a hard one.
So, Lily, you've got High School Musical and football. What would you like to go with?
I know nothing on either of them, so football.
Football. So
Football.
that's Macaulay. We'll see if you get Macaulay, though. You could get any expert. Tom, spin the expert wheel. Lewis!
It's Lewis for football.
Lewis knows so much about football, don't you, Lou?
Okay.
You might not be as successful on this one, Lily. Lewis, you can unmute so
Okay.
you can help her out.
Here's your question, guys. Okay, number one. Who is the all-time goal scorer in the Premier League? Is it A, Wayne Rooney, B, Sergio Aguero, or C, Alan Shearer?
Discuss.
I have no idea.
I actually know this one.
Wait,
My-
Lewis,
my
did you
dad
say you
did
know
something
it?
Right, bringing me up. It's. I believe it's Alan Shearer.
Go
Okay.
with that one then, because I've got no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Lily's
think we should go with
gonna-
Alan Shearer.
Lily's going
Yeah.
with Lewis's guess of Alan Shearer.
Alan Shearer. I could tell you, Lewis, that your limited football knowledge has paid off. It's the right answer!
Yes!
Hannah and Ben don't look too happy.
Hannah and Ben.
Sorry, guys.
Guys, I'm sorry that so far you've come to just witness a Zoom call. Maybe this next question, Lily will get it wrong, and you'll have the chance to come in, steal the last category, and get through to the final.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, well,
Okay.
Lily, you can't pick your last category. There is only one left. It's High School Musical. Chloe is our expert at High School Musical, but will you get her as your expert? Lewis was in High School Musical, so he should know loads.
Yeah. So, maybe, okay? Let's spin the wheel, Tom, and get our expert.
Chrysula.
Well, does this kind of overlap? Because High
It
School
is
Musical
Disney,
technically
so
is Disney.
technically, Chrysula, you should be really good at this.
Okay. Here's
Yeah.
your High School Musical question. What is the name of the high school in High School Musical?
That's way too easy.
Is it A, North Point High School, B, Westview High School, or C, East High School?
East High.
That was too easy.
I don't know. I've never.
Yeah, it's East High.
Lily, did you have any idea about that answer at all?
No.
It was too easy, you said.
It was way too easy.
Okay, Chrysula, you have said East High. Lily, what answer are you going with?
East.
East High.
No.
I can tell you,
Yeah.
East High is the right answer. Lily, you have wiped the floor tonight
But
with the wheel.
there's still one last question before you can win. And none of our experts are experts in these three subjects.
They are not. So I'm going to give you the categories, and then you need to choose, Lily, which expert you want to help you answer the question in these categories. Okay, your categories are The Simpsons, pizza, or Netflix.
What are you
Lily-
thinking, Lily?
I'm not sure. Do I get to choose the category?
You
Yeah.
don't get to
Oh.
choose the category this round. You choose your expert.
right,
We then
okay.
spin the wheel to give you a final category.
I had to play this game. So, Lily, you can pick your expert, and then we pick the category?
Yes.
Okay.
Right, okay. Nailed it.
Me and Rosie, we talked so much about how to do this game, honestly.
So, which expert are you going for, Lily?
Chrysula.
Chrysula, okay.
Chrysula, she's putting her trust in Chrysula. Tom, in
Really
the
bad
back
idea.
room, can you spin the wheel for our final categories? It's either Simpsons, pizza, or Netflix.
I made these questions really hard as well.
No, that's so
Netflix.
broad. I don't know.
It's
Okay.
super broad.
Okay. Which question are you going for there? Okay. Here's your question for Netflix. Okay. Just to make it clear, Lily, if you get this wrong, you jump off the wheel and we have the chance to bring in Ben or Hannah to come in and steal at the very last moment. Okay? So here's
not
your
over
question. Here's your question on Netflix. The creator of the Umbrella Academy is in which band? Is it A, My Chemical Romance, B, 30 Seconds to Mars, or C, Panic at the Disco?
Your choice,
It's My
girls.
Chemical Romance.
Oh, thank goodness she knows. Oh, my word.
I thought I'd make it a hard
It's
one.
My Chemical Romance.
Anything that initially jumps out at you, girls?
Whatever Lily
Oh.
said.
My
Lily
Chemical
knows.
Romance.
Lily,
Oh,
sorry, Lily, sorry, can you repeat that for us?
A.
A. She
Dang
went
it.
for A, My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, she
And
did.
Lily, it's what, sorry? It's her
Oh.
favourite band, so she was going to know this. Lily, you were correct. It was A, My Chemical Romance.
Commiserations to Ben and Hannah, who
What?
thank you for joining the Zoom call, guys, but
We're 10 minutes early.
10
We're
minutes
10
early.
minutes early.
Yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to revisit some of these categories, okay, just to pad out a bit of the broadcast time. So, Tom, we should still have a wheel with Ben and Hannah on it. Can we please spin that wheel and get them up to answer some questions?
It's Ben.
It's Ben.
You can unmute yourself, Ben. How are we doing this last one then? Are we
We'll do it as we did before.
spinning the wheel of the final questions? Or?
Hola, Ben.
Hola, Ben.
Hello.
You've been practicing
Hola.
your Spanish, brother? Just for all those that you don't know.
Yeah, love
I'm
it.
his Spanish
Rosie
teacher.
is Ben's Spanish teacher.
Sorry, Ben. Right, which category are we
Right,
going for?
here's what we'll do then. Ben, you can pick any of the 4 categories that we had previously, which were Marvel, football, Disney, or High School Musical, and then we will spin the wheel and try and match you with an expert. Please tell us which category you would like.
I'm going to go for High School Musical.
High School
Legend.
Musical.
Yes.
Excellent.
So that's Chloe's category. We'll see which expert you get there. Tom, spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel. Macaulay for High School Musical. You love to see it.
Nice.
Okay, here we go.
Ben was pretty confident in picking that category.
You know what Ben was
so-
actually, so his knowledge might actually carry
Yeah.
him through. So here we go. Here's your question. What is Troy's jersey number? Is
That's
it
not that
7,
I know it.
14, or 21?
It's 14.
Well, I'm going to go with
You
10.
don't know High School Musical enough to make these questions hard.
Was Macaulay,
Well,
Macaulay,
Ben's
what would
just
you have
answered.
said?
I would have gone with 14.
He would have gone with 14.
Of course you
Ben,
would.
Ben, I understand you said 14, correct?
No.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah, you said
14.
14.
I can tell you, it was 14, Ben. This is great. We could have 3 winners tonight.
We could. Are we
Okay.
going to all 4 categories?
Let's go round again.
All
Ben,
right,
which
yeah.
category would you like? You've got Marvel, Disney, or you've got football.
I'll go with Marvel.
Marvel. Okay, so that's Lewis's category. But let's see which expert you get. Tom, spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
I feel like I'm doing that with less pizzazz than you did it before.
Spin the wheel. Has he got Lewis? It's unbelievable, Jeff. Right. Okay.
Lewis, that was such a good little celebration.
Come
dance.
on.
Come on.
Okay.
Right.
Here we go. In the film Captain Marvel, what is Carol Danvers' nickname for Monica? Is it A, Lieutenant Trouble, B, Captain Mischief, or C, Sergeant Danger?
I don't know who any of these people are.
Easy. I'm pretty sure it's Lieutenant Trouble.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They've gone for Lieutenant Trouble. Boys, you are correct.
Yes!
It was Lieutenant Trouble.
Yes!
Yes!
So, Ben, you've got football or you've got, what was the other
Disney.
one? Disney. Which are you going for?
I'll go for
Football.
Football, okay.
Football. Okay, Tom, can we give Ben an expert for this category? Chrisula!
Yes!
The wheel has been favourable to us tonight.
Chrisula knows everything about football, don't you, Chrisula?
Apart from now, I just realised what I
Football
said.
manager.
I apologise.
What?
I said the wheel's been favourable to us tonight. I thought Ben had said Disney, and he said football, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. My apologies. Okay, here's your next question on football. Derby County recorded an all-time low point total for the Premier League in 2007 and 2008. How many wins did they record that season? Was it 0, 1, or 2?
It's not many, is it?
No.
Somebody just said 0, I think. I think she's given us the answer. So I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Chrisula, you're supposed to help him.
Okay.
You got 0, 1, or 2.
Chrisula, what's your
Surely it
first
can't be
guess?
that bad to be 0.
Okay. Ben, have you got any ideas?
I don't know.
I know that Derby are bad. Pretty much what I've got.
Not wrong.
I'm going to go with 2.
Yeah,
Gone
you
for
do that.
2. Ben,
I'm useless.
you were on such a good streak, and I'm afraid it's come to an end. It was 1. They recorded 1 win all season. Who did they beat? Newcastle. You love to see it.
I understand all of this football banter.
Ben, I'm really sorry. You're off the wheel. Which
Sorry,
means,
Ben.
Hannah, you're on the wheel. Back with 4 categories to choose from.
I love that the wheel just got spun with one name on it.
Yeah. Hannah, you've got all 4 categories to choose from, so which would you like to go with?
I'll go High School Musical.
High School Musical. We've not
Excellent
actually
choice.
had Chloe on
Can
yet.
I pick the question this time?
Yes, you can pick the question. I think we're at the bottom. Okay, Tom, can we spin the wheel and get Hannah an expert? Lewis on High School Musical, which is not bad because Lewis starred in a High School Musical drama at school, I'm led to believe.
did?
In fact, no, I'm led to believe. I went to see it.
I don't know about starred.
Okay.
So really, Hannah, you've got an expert here.
You've got yeah, basically.
Although I still don't think these questions are that hard, but we'll go with it.
What?
They're not that hard.
You
So,
organise a category, she said.
Hannah and Lewis, here's your question. Why did Gabriella transfer schools? She found out where Troy went to school and transferred there after they signed together. She wanted to take a course that she could only take there, or her mum transferred jobs.
Which is it?
C.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, she's right. It's C.
See, you are correct.
Well done, Hannah!
Yes!
Lewis is on a roll.
4 for 4.
Well done, Lou.
Okay, Hannah, you've got Marvel, Disney, or football. What are you going for?
Disney.
Disney.
Disney, good choice.
Okay, Tom, can we spin the wheel and get Hannah an expert?
Chrysula.
The wheel
This
has
is
been so
rigged.
good to us. Okay, here's your question, guys.
Here is your question. What year did Disneyland open? 1945, 1955, or 1965?
I don't know this one.
I didn't think you'd know this one.
This is a tough one, actually.
Could it be no? I know this might sound stupid, but wasn't 1945 like when the war was?
Maybe.
Okay,
So
That's not bad logic. I think that's pretty good logic.
it's fair enough. So
why
what's
are
your
you
point?
laughing at me? Logical.
I'm thinking because in 2015 they might have had an anniversary. I don't know if it was 50 or 60 or 70.
So there was an anniversary.
Oh,
apparently.
they
like
did have an
Chrysula's
anniversary,
thinking
didn't
face.
they?
Say again.
I don't know. I'm useless in this one.
Hannah, have you got any ideas?
I'm gonna say 65.
1965. Somebody just cried at the other side of the room, so
You can tell
I
why
can
in these
reveal-
sorts of live game shows they keep the audience quiet.
I can reveal it was 1955. Sorry, girls.
Hannah,
But Chrysula
sorry.
had got good logic with 1945 being too close to World
yeah,
War II.
that was fair enough. That was
not
fair
bad.
enough. Just need to do a quick time check. Ben,
time
shout
keeps
me. Have we got
wandered
more
off.
time, or do we need to wrap up? Wrap
up.
Well, because Lily got to the final and answered the last question, Lily, you came in first.
Well
Ben,
done, Lily.
Ben, you managed to get 3 out of 4 categories off the wheel. You come second, and Hannah, unfortunately, you fell at the final hurdle. Well,
I
at
did
a
give you a
hurdle.
hard question, though, so
Yeah.
good job.
Well, Hannah, you came third. Guys, thanks so much for participating. In the comments, why don't we give it up for Lily, for Ben, and for Hannah, and thank our experts, Macaulay, Lewis, Chloe, and Chrysula, for taking part in the wheel tonight. We're going to head over to a time of worship right now, which is going to be awesome. So jump up to your feet in your living rooms or in your bedrooms, wherever you are, and let's get ready for an amazing time of worship.
Let's go.
worship tonight. Salvation sounds a new beginning. As distant hearts begin believing. Redemption's speed is unrelenting. Your love goes on. Your love goes on. Come on, we sing. When the world gives way, you carry us in your endless grace. You carry us. Your love is relentless. Your love is relentless. Your love is relentless. Your love is relentless. Time is up for chasing shadows. You gave the world a light to follow. Come on. When the world gives way, you carry us with your endless grace. You carry us. One, two, your love is relentless. Love is relentless.
Come on, Icon Youth, let's get low. Come on, let's sing this out. Tearing through the veil of darkness, breaking every chain, you set us free. Fighting for the furthest heart, you gave your life for all to see. Tearing through the veil of darkness, breaking every chain, you set us free. Are you ready? You gave your love. Everybody jump!
Come on, it's ready to praise. One, two, your love is relentless. 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 Come on, let's give a shout of praise.
Come on, Icon Youth, let's sing this out together. My heart was caught up in this world. My mind chose to wander. And even before I was formed, you called me. You laid out your life on the line with no hesitation. So no matter what I could do, I know this love isn't ending. Your heart never changing. The love that's for me, it overwhelms me. This love
Well, what an incredible night we're having together here at IKON Youth.
Yeah.
Come on, let's show some love for our youth sound team, for every single person who works behind the scenes, all of our production crew do an incredible job. And like Amy made us get low, people.
I got low. And
Yeah.
my groin isn't used to going low anymore. It's been a while since we've done that in the room together.
I heard George Heek say that's the most exercise he's done in a long time.
I'm still out of breath.
Still
You don't
out
do
there.
any exercise.
Doesn't do any exercise.
No, I can't talk either. I don't.
Well, this is like a little 30-second warning. I think we're going to have a conversation tonight around relationships. I'm giving you a 30-second warning because I think what we're going to talk about is going to be super helpful for you, but also super helpful for your friends. And so I want to encourage you, maybe send out the link, grab that share button, copy the link, send it to a friend right now and just say, hey, check this out, because we're going to have an incredible conversation around relationships. And we're going to do it podcast style.
Podcast style.
Podcast style.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you like 20 seconds. Joe is playing the keys so smoothly. He's wearing a bandana tonight. And I don't know if anyone's watched that Netflix series, Cobra Kai.
What?
I said he's way too cool.
I know he is.
We
Cobra
don't know
Kai.
what cool is, do we, Hannah?
But no, same. But looking smooth, Joe. Looking smooth. And you can stop now. I just want to listen to you play keys all night. It's like Valentine's vibe. Oh.
That's the serious Valentine's. That's like...
That's
imagine
a
this
worship,
on a first
worship.
date.
Oh, my
Imagine this
life.
on a first date.
Well, let's leave that conversation for the podcast. So
beautiful.
I'm going to intro the podcast right now. Welcome to the IKON Youth podcast. It might be a podcast. It might not be a podcast. Who knows?
A one-off special.
A one-off special. Who knows? I don't know what I just said there either. Podcast. I don't know what I said there, but it might be a podcast, it might not be a podcast, but it's in podcast style. And tonight, we are talking all about relationships. And I'd like you to give it up for Mr. and Mrs. Lloyd. No kissing, please.
Okay.
And no holding hands. Holding hands makes babies, and you've already got one of those.
We don't need any more yet. Where's he gone?
Oh. I thought that was a proposition.
A proposition.
A proposition. Here we go. Okay, so.
But I need before we start
Go
now,
on.
I've got to say that we're sharing a mic here, so this is a real test of our marriage.
Hannah, just steal it.
I will. Don't worry.
Well done.
I can cut you off.
Yes, come on.
Feel
Come on,
free to
just
cut me
steal
off.
it. Just steal it. Okay. And I'm being attacked by fake plants here right now. Anyway, we're going to get into this. The first kind of little segment that we're going to do is...
We got some segments.
We have.
Not just...
This isn't a normal relationship
segments.
talk.
Yeah.
Segments. Like little segues to the segments.
Beautiful.
Whoa. Like, I'm preaching already.
Wow.
It'd be like we'd planned this and we'd done it before, like a podcast. But this is a podcast that might not be a podcast, but that could be a podcast.
Could be a podcast.
If I could say podcast right. Anyway.
It's definitely a podcast.
Podcast.
That's what we know for a fact.
Anyway, first segment is real relationship stories.
Oh. Real relationship stories.
You can pop if you're willing to.
Yeah.
Your real relationship stories.
Exactly. So this segment is basically, you see on Instagram, social media, relationships look perfect. Perfect wedding pictures, perfect couple pictures. But we know relationships are real, people.
Yes.
With real friction and tension and
like,
funny, awkward moments.
You could have said at the start of tonight, because we played the wheel, they're wheel relationships.
That's how Hannah
I'm
says it.
bringing the dead jokes to the podcast, people.
Do you want the mic?
I'm all right.
Hannah, do you have a real relationship story?
I don't have a story, but I think...
Why? There's some cheering, some laughing going off. Yeah.
Well, I have many stories, yeah. But I think, actually, Tom Bray has a photo that practically sums up Ben in a picture.
Oh.
So I don't know if you can see that, but it says, it basically is ways to annoy your... The thing is to annoy your mum, but actually this is also ways to annoy your wife. So it says, do they do this and put a new toilet roll without changing the toilet roll?
What's wrong with that?
There's everything wrong with that. Everything wrong with that. Put an empty box back in the pantry or back in the cupboard. The worst thing that Ben did with this...
I do that. Hold on. There's a reasoning, right? You don't get this right. Look. I'm not having
I feel outnumbered on this conversation.
some husband bashing here, okay? Okay. I put it back so that we know that we need to buy more.
Nay. Rule 1 of relationships is communication.
Oh, she's teaching me tonight, people.
But no, what I was going to say, the worst thing that Ben ever did, this, you're not having the microphone, is he got a packet of Kinder Buenos, ate all 4 of the Kinder Buenos and left the empty packet in the cupboard. That was the worst thing.
I tell you what,
ever.
if that's the worst thing he's ever done.
What's worse than that? What's worse than doing that is that I call Kinder Buenos Kinder Buenos.
Kinder Bueno, yeah, it's just wrong. Yeah. What else was on that picture? Tom, can you put that picture back up? Just so I can rinse Ben a little bit more. The charger thing he doesn't do, we're okay with that. Use 6 glasses a day. I literally told him off for this yesterday. Open a second bag of something that isn't already open. Again, if you read our text, he opened a block of cheese that was, half a block of cheese was already
I
open.
ate the wheel of cheese.
The dish thing is not too bad. Leave wet towels and dirty socks on the floor. I feel like every man does that, ever. Anyway, that's my rinsing for tonight.
Okay.
I have no response. I'm just here to learn. Have you got one, Nathan?
I guess my real relationship story is actually bringing up my wife, because I like to build up my wife, Hannah. Okay. Anyway, basically, we went on honeymoon, and I cut our honeymoon short to come back and play football.
This is real. This is the stuff they don't tell you on the internet.
This is what you don't
Except
get
we're
in
on the
marriage counselling. Yeah. Anyway, we came back early so I could play a pre-season friendly against Blackburn Rovers.
You did get money for that, though.
No, it was pre-season friendly, mate. No money for that one.
I'm just looking on the comments, and something else is Alice says Jacob put stuff next to the bin, not in the bin, which again I think I've just lost count of how many times I've told Ben or asked Ben if he knows where the bin is.
I tell you what, we haven't started well on this relationship talk, have we? Let's do some marriage counselling now with Mr. and Mrs. Lloyd.
Anyway, I think that's it. I've not seen George's one.
What was that?
Where are we? Here. Wasted £10 of credit texting a girl, told her my feelings, and she just said, okay. Aww. That's the worst.
That's
when you
real
send an
cool.
essay text and you just get like a 1-word reply.
That is real.
I do that to you.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
All right.
Relationships are real.
They are real. Very real.
And this is the moment to segue.
And we're going to segue
to the next segment.
So segment number 2 is called The Definition. Everybody say the definition.
Definition.
You can say in the comments too, people. So, Nay started a series last week called The Jesus Way, which we're going to do for the next few weeks in youth. And tonight we're talking about relationships, but it's all through the filter of the Jesus Way. So when we're thinking about relationships, we're thinking about what is the Jesus way to do relationships. So here's what this segment is. The definition.
The definition.
If you had one sentence, looking at both of you, to define what a relationship in the Jesus way is, what would you say?
I'll start by just saying to people who might be listening, watching to this podcast that's not a podcast, but maybe a podcast. Anyway, we're going to stop that now. Basically, even if you're not a follower of Jesus, you can grab some wisdom tonight.
Yeah.
And so my definition would be this. and it comes straight from the Bible. I'm sorry to get all spiritual on you.
It's all right. It's why we're here.
We love because he first loved us. And so, like, that is the definition of a relationship in one sentence, the Jesus way of doing relationships.
Really good.
We love because he first loved us.
Awesome. Come on, really good. Hey, I'd love you in the comments as well. We want to hear what your definition is. If you were to define in a sentence what you think a relationship is in the Jesus way. Hannah, have you got any ideas?
I'm trying to think of a sentence, but I think a word came to mind, and it's the word faithful. I think being faithful in all aspects of life and being faithful through the highs and the lows, because no relationship, as we've already discovered, is perfect, but you can still be faithful and you can still trust each other. And communication is also key.
Yeah, Amy and Nat are good at communication.
Really good.
I saw that in the comments just now. Nathaniel Hall once got told off by his parents as they had a £400 phone bill come through. Hold on. Turns out it's from one phone call that he had with Amy. That's communication to the extreme.
That is both romantic and stupid at the same time. Beautiful. His mum doesn't...
She does now.
Let's hope she's not watching.
You'll be getting a £400 bill.
Rachel Hall's just turned the volume up at home so her mum can hear it. I was thinking about this question today. I think honour was the first thing that came to mind. I think a relationship in the Jesus way is a relationship where you honour each other and you honour God in your relationship.
Yeah.
I think that's so much of that is of marriage. I think is what that is. A healthy marriage is about honouring each other. But if our relationship, if our marriage doesn't honour Jesus, then, why do it? And I think he's got to be at the centre of a relationship. So, did anyone put a definition in the comments? All right, cool.
Talking about Kath.
All right. We're flying here. We're already on segment number 3, which, Hannah, you're going to be leading.
That was a great segue to the next segment.
Thanks. Yep. So some of you lovely people have sent us some questions. So it's not got a very imaginative title. You've got really cool titles. I've got viewers' questions, round 1.
Can you think of a better title right now?
No, not right now. You've had all week to think of these. Anyway, moving on. So we're going to answer some of your questions. So the first round of questions is we're going to talk about friendship, because this isn't just about relationships, but actually relationships with friends or with parents or whatever relationship, like with another human, you find yourself in. There's going to be things that we talk about that you can apply. It could even be to your teachers. You never know. But the first one is specifically about friendship. So the first question is, how can you become friends with somebody who you don't necessarily get on with?
Going straight in.
We'll go in there.
I guess, well, we've just done the definition of relationships. I guess it's defining what a friend is for you. And for me, you want to be friendly and caring and loving to every single person. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be friends for me, in terms of that. My definition of friends is people who are close, people who I'm going to do life with, people who I'm going to hang out with. Like, you can't do that with everyone in your school, but you can be loving to everyone in your school. You can be caring to everyone in your school. You can accept everyone in your school. You can be kind to everyone in your school. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be friends and hang out all the time. And what I found through my school years, and I don't know if it was the same for you, I'd hang out with a certain group of friends, and then 2 years later, that friendship group changed.
Yep. I think me and Rach went around about 5 different friendship groups throughout school. But I was going to say on that, on friends, you don't have to be friends with everybody, but be friendly towards them. And I think as well, the number of friends that you have is a it's not a popularity contest. Because if I think of those groups of people that I was friendly with, like I say, me and Rach were the only ones that stuck together and are still friends now. And I think it's sometimes quality over quantity when it comes to friendships. So yeah, I think that was awesome. Ben, did you want to add anything?
Really good. You're so wise, Hannah. I've been serious then. Anyway.
He's sucking up people.
Yeah. Something our lead pastor Paul said in a message recently, and shout out Paul if you're watching. He was talking about what is the most popular verse in the Bible. What's the verse in the Bible most people know in the world today? And it would be John 3:16, for God so loved the world. He said centuries ago, what was the last most popular verse in the Bible? He said, and I can't remember exactly what the verse is, but it's when Jesus says, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you. I think, these guys have said it so well about making sure we can't be friends with everyone, but we can love on everybody. And I would say that the people that really rub you up the wrong way, the best thing you can do is pray for them. Because and these guys will say this as well, but there's been so many times where I've prayed for someone who has either wronged me or someone I don't really get on with, and just in the act of praying for them, it makes me see them in a different light. I believe praying for a person makes us see them the way Jesus sees them.
Yeah.
And I think that's really powerful when it comes to this.
Yeah, awesome. So the next question, I'm going to switch the order of these questions around, but I'm going to jump because we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but how do you deal with toxic friendships or relationships? So I think to start with, what you've just said about praying for them is always a great place to start. But I don't know, is there anything else to add?
I think as well, there's the verses where Jesus talks about, judgment. And I even alluded to them in the message last week. Go back, listen to it. Where, why do Jesus said, why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye when there's a plank in your own eye? And that wasn't to go, you're in the wrong. The revelation to me was, I need Jesus' forgiveness in my own life. Yeah. And then what I'm going to point other people to is Jesus' forgiveness. But I think, rather than looking at the other person, and it goes back to praying for those who persecute you, it's, I can't change that person, but I can do something about my heart and my attitude. And it's one of the hardest things to do. Yeah. And sometimes, if I'm just being honest, sometimes I have thought stuff in my own head that people think about me. That they don't. They're not even thinking that. They're not even they're not even thinking about me, and yet I've made it out that they're thinking that, or they're mad at me. Even people have done that with me, because I used to put full stops at the end of every text message, and they thought I was angry.
I'm still recovering emotionally from some of the texts.
And I'm like, I just like to use punctuation.
Proper English.
Yeah, exactly. And now I don't. And now, I remember, I think it was Amy who's in the room. I think she said to me, I think I asked her once, and she went, just use an emoji. And so now I put an emoji on pretty much every message, because I'm like, everything's all right. We're all good. But we can read into things too much. Yeah. And that can then lead us to think, oh, is this toxic? There are some relationships that are toxic, and we have to separate ourselves from them. I talk about the friendship groups. I changed friendship groups through my school years because some of those relationships were leading me on a path I didn't want to go. Yeah. And so I had to make a decision to change that, because I don't want to go there. I don't want to live my life like that. There are moments like that, but that doesn't mean I have the permission to dislike that person. No, I have the permission to pray for that person, to be kind to that person. But it means I don't have to hang out constantly with that person.
Yeah, great. And just on that, I think maybe this is a bit of a girl thing to do, I don't know, maybe. But I think when it comes to looking at toxic relationships, yes, everything you've said, Nay, I think first of all, we need to look at ourselves and deal with anything that we can about ourselves. But I think sometimes, especially if you maybe have just had a massive argument that you think is the end of the world, the biggest drama in your friendship group is going on, and then you look at that person and you think, you're toxic, I'm not friends with you anymore. I think sometimes we need to get wise counsel, maybe, and not let our emotions take over that situation, because I know as a girl it's very easy to get caught up in the emotions, and it's not just girls. I think it can happen to anyone in any situation, especially if you have an argument that feels like the end of the world. But to look at that situation, and if you can't look at that situation with a clear mind, then get some advice on it, whether that's a youth leader or whether that's a parent or whether that's someone that's not involved in that situation, because their emotions will then come into play as well. But yeah, and then, you know, if you're ever unsure, then someone else who cares and loves you and has got the best for you can see if that's toxic and see if that's harming you as well. Great. Cool. Okay. Oh.
Can I not add something?
Okay.
Be quick.
I was just going to say counsel as well. We're on the same wavelength as each other, which is really good. Sorry, super quick story.
It's like we're married.
I think most of the time parents are a good judge of character as well, because I remember when I was in primary school, bringing a friend home with me, and you know, my mum had never met him before. It was the first time he'd come round, and he was one of those bad kids in school. But my mum didn't know that. But just after kind of one time this kid came with me back home, mum knew straight away that he was the wrong friend for me. So counsel is so important. Speak to the people in your life who love you and want the best for you when it comes to relationships.
Yeah, awesome. I've just seen Chloe Sheldon's comment in here as well, which is so true. I think sometimes when she's basically saying when she stepped away from those toxic relationships, she found a best friend who supported her faith. And I think sometimes when doors get closed, God opens even better doors and better friendships. So that's awesome, Chloe. Last question on this section before we move on then is, how do you not feel nervous around people you don't know or new people?
I always feel nervous.
You're the same. Have a list of questions, topic, conversation.
No, I think, like, for me, like, I think I'd have asked that question at times. And sometimes I do things like try and throw some jokes out there. I remember going to some football trials. I'm sorry to talk about football again, but it was like a whole group of people that I'd never met before. You had to introduce yourself, and I threw out a dead joke there because I was nervous. And that still hasn't gone away at times. But I think you don't allow that nervousness or that fear to stop you in that.
Come on.
And it is just to constantly battle through. And I'm not, I don't know if I'll ever get to a point where I'm not nervous about it, but I'm determined I'm not going to let that stop me from interacting with people.
Yeah. I think, I agree with everything Nate's just said then. And I think, a question like that, we can feel like that's a light topic, like just, social interactions. A lot of us get nervous. A lot of us will always be nervous around new people. But I think that's one of those things we really need Jesus in. Like, I'm not ashamed to go deep with this one, but we really need Jesus because it's in him that we find our true identity. Yeah. And if we're going to overcome nerves even in little social interactions like that around new people, we need to be so convicted in what our identity is in Jesus. And Jesus is the only way we're going to find out who we truly are. And I think that's so important when it comes to being around new people, being in those kind of situations. Did you want to say anything? No. Wicked. We're on segment number 4, people. And this is my favourite one.
So you get the cool title again.
Oh, sorry. I've been selfish with this one, but the title of this segment is the Tom Bray Award for Worst Relationship Advice.
Tell us why it's called that.
This segment is called this because Tom Bray gave me the worst piece of relationship advice, and we've joked about it many a time. You might have heard of it. We were at Rock Nations in the summer. We were camping in half a tent, and we were stood outside the tent, and it was raining. And there was this girl that I was kind of chatting to, kind of fancied me. But anyway, ignore that. Tom said to me, Tom thought I'll be a good cousin here and give some good advice. And Tom's advice to me was, Ben, you don't have to like her to go out with her. And it was just the worst piece of relationship advice. In the comments right now, I want to know what is either the worst relationship advice you've been given, or just maybe some relationship advice that you've heard, maybe on the TV or something. Or maybe you've given some really bad relationship advice like Tom. Let us know in the chat right now. Nay, have you got any?
Can I bash something that gets said? Like...
Bash it to death.
I'm going to bash it to death. Right? And I'm going to absolutely destroy it right now. Okay?
Kill it.
Because I don't like it. You know when you've just had that moment of breakup, and all it is you're focused on that person and the relationship's broken up, and someone says, well, there's plenty more fish in the sea. No, stop saying it. They're obviously heartbroken from what they've just been through. Stop saying it. Just support them. Just care for them. Just help them get past the moment. I'm going to preach right now.
Go. Preach.
I forgot what I was saying. But basically, I think that is like one of... I understand what people are saying, but I think they say it might not... Well, I think there is, it's like, it's one of the worst phrases to say.
Yep.
But the timing of it at times is just terrible.
I agree.
Did I bash it to death?
Yeah, I think you bashed it to death. No one who's listening to this is ever going to say that again. Hannah, have you got any?
What was... Rosie reminded me of one earlier. I've forgotten. Oh, it was... which doesn't make any sense. Well, no, it doesn't make any sense. It's treat them mean to keep them keen. I just think it's horrible. Like, that's such a horrible thing. Or playing hard to get, yeah. No, I just think that's horrible. I think the being mean thing is the not very nice thing, because we're meant to love people. We don't have to, like, go out with them. We can just be friends with them and be nice.
Can I be deep?
Okay.
Go for it.
So, and maybe we'll get into this. What attracts a person to you at times will be the very thing that you have to do to keep them. We could get very deep on that.
We could. That's good, though.
Treat them mean to keep them keen, is kind of like this, it's a terrible phrase and it should never be used. But if that's the very thing that, brought relationship, that's the very thing that's going to keep the relationship, and it's not going to be a great relationship. Let me tell you, it's going to be terrible. Yeah. There are other things that you'll do to get the attention of somebody who you want relationship with. Let me encourage you, what you do to get the attention will be the very thing that you have to do, and even beyond that, to keep their attention.
Yeah. Come on. Clap in the studio. Let's turn this into Loose Women. Right, no, I'm joking. What was I going to say? So can I bash something to death as well? Is that all right, Hannah? Can I do that?
Bash it to death. Bash it to death.
It's not really, it's my segment. Yeah, I can do what I want in my segment.
With the great title.
This isn't really advice, but something I want to bash to death is the silent treatment.
Yeah.
And me and Hannah can be guilty of this a lot of the time. You fall out and you don't talk to each other. But Nay, remind me, what is that verse? I think it's in Proverbs about not going to bed.
Yes, don't let the sun go down on your anger.
Come on. There we go. That right there is why silent treatment, don't do it. Talk it out, And if that doesn't work, get counsel.
Get counsel.
Did anyone in the comments say? Did you want to say anything? Did anyone in the comments say bad advice?
JB just said he bullied Megan and it worked.
I'm not sure that is good relationship
No, that's
advice.
not. Yeah. Jacob's way of flirting. This is Alice Yeoman, sorry. Jacob's way of flirting with me was bantering me, and I thought it was because he didn't like me. You see?
Does that mean Jacob flirts with me? We'll get you back later, Jacob. Mark my words. Sam knows what I mean. Love you, Jacob. Anyway. Segment number 5. We're going back to Hannah.
With the great title. I've been trying to think of a better title and I need some help.
Come on, give us the title.
It is Viewers' Questions Round 2. Oh, wow, okay. Okay, this is going deep really quickly, actually.
Okay.
So this question in round 2 is, why is it okay to be single? I just heard like a married person say,
come on. Single and secure.
Single and secure. Yeah, secure. Yeah. I'll give Ben the mic.
I think any good relationship actually starts there. Like single and secure. Like what I love about, one of the things that I really love about my marriage is that me and Debbie have completely the opposite interests. She loves terrible Netflix shows. It's unbelievable, the terrible Netflix shows that she loves. Like, I think the latest one she's watched is Bridgerton, which I know a load of you are going to love. But
that
I
is
think
a
it's
dirty
terrible.
programme.
Anyway, just check the age ratings
my
of these
review of
shows.
it.
I have never watched it.
We don't endorse anything except Tom Bray.
But I think that's because in part this willingness to actually be secure in who we are, and that's the single thing. And I think for many of us, we put ourselves under pressure to be in a relationship. I think in church, this happens at a younger age than it does in the world. And I think we put ourselves under pressure because that's what either the world does or that's the world we live in does. But you know what? I'm actually going to enjoy being single, find my identity, and then guess what? You'll enter into a relationship and you won't feel threatened because the other person doesn't like what you like. You know, Debbie hates football. Like, ridiculous. She used to come and watch me, and we got engaged, and it was like, yeah, I'm done with the football thing. I think she's been to watch me about 5 times since we've been married. But I don't mind that. Why? Because I'm secure, and that's who I am. And I think great relationships start with being okay, and it's great to be single and find my identity and find what I love.
Yeah, I just actually want to rephrase that question and say, why is it not okay to be single?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with being single? There's absolutely nothing wrong with being single. If you are happy, if you are secure in yourself, don't listen to what other people say. If they're saying you should be in this relationship, say, hold on a minute. No, it's my life. I can choose if I want to be in a relationship with someone or not.
Yeah.
And I think Judith's just put in the comments, she said, you'll be in a relationship longer than you'll be... Hold on, I've read that wrong. You'll be in a relationship longer than you'll be single, so enjoy it.
Yeah.
But also on the back of that, you know, in a relationship, you need to be healthy yourself. You need to be exactly what you just said. You need to be secure in yourself. And sometimes it is easier to do that when you've not got a distraction of being in a relationship, but you can take that time and you can spend that time investing in yourself and being the best version of you that you can give to somebody else. So I want to rephrase that and say, why is it not okay to be single? Because there is absolutely nothing wrong with being single.
And I would say, in your school years, and I've always been an advocate for this, and I know it doesn't happen because we live in a world that it doesn't happen. And this is why we're talking about relationships. But I think, especially in your school years, enjoy them without getting in the stress of like relationship. And if you're in a relationship and you're in school years, this is not me saying don't be, but this is me saying, do you know what? Make sure it's enjoyable. Yeah. Make sure it's fun. Make sure it's light. It's not heavy.
Really good.
Like, oh, my life, 14-year-olds, like, and it's like, I love you. And then next week it's like, you know, it's so heavy and it's like breakup and it's all of that. And actually, you'll look back and you go, do you know what? Maybe I learned some things through it, but actually I wish it had been more fun, more light, and, you know, just been able to have fun, you know, so yeah.
Awesome. The other thing I would add to this question is the most important relationship you will ever have is with Jesus.
Yeah.
Marriage is a blessing from God.
Yeah.
It is an added bonus to the most fulfilling relationship you could have, and that is with Jesus. Yeah. Mic drop.
Awesome. Keeping it spiritual. It's good. Okay, next question then is in a relationship. So it's asking how to set physical boundaries in a relationship, and why is it important to set physical boundaries in a relationship?
How to and why. Well, let's start with the why. Why? Because you don't want to compromise. And compromise can lead to some regret at times. And there's a higher standard that Jesus calls us to live. There's a Sermon on the Mount, and Jesus says this, you've heard it said that if you commit adultery, that's a sin. Jesus goes to another level, and I'll tell you why in a minute, and it's not to shame us. He goes to another level and says even if you've looked at another woman in the wrong way in your heart, then you've sinned. He's doing that to point us to him and say, we all need forgiveness. We've all fallen short, because there's no one in that crowd going, no, I've never done that. But he's called us to a higher standard of living. Why? Because he's got better for us, and he's got better for your future. Right. And he's got better for each and every one of us. So why should we set boundaries? Is because I don't want to compromise on something that is sacred for marriage. We believe in that. Something that is, something that actually can cause, can affect our lives as much as it does if taken out of the right context. Yeah. And so that's the why. How do you do it? You do it awkwardly through conversation, and you do it early. Yeah. Like even before you get in the relationship, you set the boundaries. Yeah.
Amazing. I think you kind of said it all there. I was going to say on how to put in boundaries. Yeah, what Nate said starts with a conversation, and again, what Nate said, do it as soon as you can if you're already in a relationship, or maybe you're on course to start a relationship. Me and Hannah had a conversation that we weren't going to have sex before we were married. We put in that boundary by talking about it. We didn't just just assume.
Why did your voice break?
I don't know.
Because it was an awkward conversation.
I'm confident in myself. In my anyway. We didn't just assume that it's easy to do that, especially Christian relationships.
Yeah.
Because we both go to church. We could have easily just assumed we know neither of us want to have sex before we're married, but you don't know for sure unless you have that conversation with each other.
I'll just go back, because obviously I talked about boundaries and why you shouldn't. I'm guessing, and I would know this, there are people who are tuning into this who you may have compromised in relationships, whether it's the current relationship you're in or a past relationship. It's never too late to reset the boundaries. Yeah. And Jesus is not looking on you like you've done wrong, that's it, it's over. No, he's saying, there was a woman caught in adultery. She's caught in the act of adultery. She's brought before Jesus. Jesus' words to her were, I don't condemn you. So I'm not throwing any shame or guilt, but go and sin no more. Does that mean she was going to live a sinless life? No, it meant don't go back to the life you were living. Reset the boundaries. Yeah. Do something today because of the forgiveness of Jesus for each and every one of us. So whoever you are, wherever you find yourself, whatever your past looked like, whatever mistakes you've made, you're not too far gone. No one is too far gone for the forgiveness of Jesus.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I guess just a last thing to add on that, I think something else is accountability is a massive thing when it comes to that. If you're watching thinking, I have no idea, where do I even start with boundaries? Where do I even start with that conversation? Or what are you even talking about boundaries? Always having a conversation with someone that's in a relationship further along the journey than you are is always a great place to start, because if they're worth getting their opinion from, they also will have had that conversation, or they also will have set the boundaries in their relationship. So I think being open and being honest with someone that you trust and a relationship that you look at and, you know, respect and admire and want to take things from their relationship that you can apply into your relationship, then I think have that conversation with someone. I know there's been people that have talked to us about it, and it just helps. Sometimes, you know, I mean, let's be real, it's not easy setting boundaries, is it? Like, everyone's going to get tempted at some point. Yeah. But when you've got that accountability, when someone else knows the goals that you're working to as well, then they can help you as well. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to, everything that Nay said, they're not going to condemn you. They're just going to love you. They're going to support you. They're going to help you to reach and achieve those goals and those boundaries that you've set, and just make sure that that relationship is as healthy as it can be. So I think, if ever you don't know where to start, or you're not sure how to have that conversation, just ask someone, because you're not the first person to have had that conversation.
I love what Rosie, before we jump into the next
I was
segment,
about to say, proper mic drop in the comments.
Yeah, Rosie said, and boundaries protect. Yeah. And I love that, because the Bible talks about that, people without restraint cast everything off. And I think it's so important. Boundaries protect, but they don't cause us to live small lives. Actually, boundaries lead to life.
Yeah.
Ben?
Beautiful. That's the biblical.
That's it.
That's like one of those amazing paradoxes of God, that the boundaries he gives us actually free us.
Yeah.
They do not hold us in. And that is the whole gospel, which is brilliant. Nave.
Next segment.
We're on segment 6, and it's yours.
Yeah. So we're flipping, and we're doing this. So you're thinking of starting a relationship? Oh.
I'm thinking of starting a relationship with a new DVD player.
PS5?
No. Not
PS5. Anyway. So, what are your thoughts around how to start a relationship well? So you're thinking of starting a relationship?
Have a conversation with them, like talk to them.
Yeah, actually do that.
Say hello to them.
That wasn't my tactic.
Whatever. No, what I would say is, talk to them, say hello to them, but be friends. I think, I say talk to them, get to know them. Don't just, go out with someone for the sake of going out with them. But I think if you're thinking of starting a relationship, you need to, I'm thinking as I'm speaking right now, you need to, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Let's move on. Come back to me when I get my brain in thought. You need to be friends with them, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think that's the starting point. Is become friends and make sure you're friends. I think that's it. Like I say about me and Debbie, we have completely different interests. But for 3 weeks after we met, we literally just got to know each other for 3 weeks, and and so that was. I would say that was one of the most vital things we did for our relationship, is we spent 3 weeks literally on the phone. We met up, but it was basically, let's be friends, let's build a friendship. Yeah, we knew we kind of liked each other, we were attracted to each other, but we were like, no, this is the starting point. We're going to get to know each other.
I remembered what I was going to say. The word I was thinking of is priorities. Is think about your priorities. If you're in a busy season, maybe in school, and your true priority is you want to focus on your schoolwork, then don't just bring a relationship into that for the sake of having a relationship, but think, actually, am I serious about this relationship? Not heavy and, if I date this person, I'm going to marry them, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with them, this is it, kind of thing. But, you know, have that, I guess that understanding that, you know, it's going to take work, it's going to take time, it's going to take communication, it's going to take things out, like separate things in your life by focusing on that, whereas you might actually be wanting to focus on something else. So I think weighing up your priorities and thinking, actually, is this right for me in this season, or am I just going along with peer pressure or for the sake of whatever? And I think it comes back to the question, well, it links with the question about being single, because actually, sorry, me put the best way to be friend zoned, but actually I'm totally secure in being single that I can be friend zoned, and like I'm totally secure if this is the right thing for me. Like, I'm believing it'll happen, but we're friends. But I'm totally secure this is who I am, and this is it. And I think, you know, like, you start building that friendship is a key for the future. Yeah,
really good. I think, you know, and we've said it loads of times tonight, but accountability is massive when you're thinking of starting a relationship. I can only think of one girlfriend I had when I was younger that I didn't tell you about. That was probably the first girlfriend I had. I think every time I started a relationship, I always had a conversation with Nathan beforehand. I think that, and if you're a young person who has a good relationship with your Connect leader, I really encourage you, if you're thinking of starting a relationship, no matter who it's with, talk to them about it, you know, let them know. And it's not necessarily that they need to give you loads of advice on it, but just the fact that they know, just the fact that you're saying, I want to include you as my Connect leader, as my leader, as my mentor in my life, in what's going on in my life. It's more about that. And I would say as well, you know, if you do have that close relationship with a Connect leader and you're not willing to tell them about a relationship that you're wanting to start, then I would question whether it's the right relationship. And, you know, I think accountability in so many aspects of life is massively important, but especially, you know, when it comes to starting relationships. Awesome. Good. And want to add anything? No. Anybody? We're on to segment 7, everybody. This one's called Top Picks. And what we're going to do in this segment is, and you can grab a notebook or something to make notes on, maybe on your phone. I'm going to give you a few really good Bible scriptures that talk about relationships or some really fundamental things when it comes to relationships. And then we're going to finish by just talking about a few resources, books that we've read on relationships. So, you ready for these Bible scriptures? Come on. Let's go. Here's the first one. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 33 says this: do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. Yep. Bad company corrupts good character. If we're going to have a good, solid, strong character, we need to get the right people around us. So true. Another one, Psalm 37, verse 3. I love this one. It says, trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. I love that phrase, befriend faithfulness. Make sure you're finding friends, starting relationships with faithful people. Yeah. You know, we were just talking about you thinking of starting a relationship, let me tell you, make sure that person you're starting a relationship with is a faithful person. Yeah. Someone who is committed, someone who is consistent. We need to befriend faithfulness. I love that. Another one, 1 Peter 4, verse 8 says, above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. What an amazing scripture that is. And we've talked so much about loving people tonight. Yeah. And what love does is it covers a multitude of sins. And then the last one I want to share is Proverbs 31, verse 10. An excellent wife, who can find? She is far more precious than jewels. Preach. Amen. Come on. Amen. Come on. My life is a testament to that. Nothing's working for me tonight, clearly. No. Awesome. So there's some scriptures. We're going to finish by just very quickly talking about a couple of books. Do you want to start with that one, Hannah?
Yep. So obviously the topic of relationships is such a broad thing, and like we mentioned earlier, it's friendships, it's with our parents, it's with other people that we interact with, but it is also with boyfriends and girlfriends, and leading towards marriage. And there's actually a really great book that it's called On Top, and it's by someone called Cheryl Fagan, and she's from Australia. I've got it here. But she's from Australia, and her husband, mainly her husband, are youth pastors in Australia. And she has actually spent years of her life in university and doing degrees and all sorts to the point where she's become a professional sexologist. And so she has poured her heart really into this book, and I don't know if any of you can follow her on Instagram, or I would really recommend this book because it's directed at 13 to 17 year olds, and it is mainly about sex and sexuality and looking at what the Bible says about healthy sexual relationships, about boundaries. It's got great section on boundaries in there. But what's really great about it is it's not just like a story to read, but there's questions at the end of each chapter or each section. It splits it up into different sections where it talks about your heart, where it talks about your soul, where it talks about your body, and splits it up, has questions at the end of each of those different sections where you can either answer them for yourself, or if you want to read it with some of your friends or with a Connect leader and you want to open it up for discussions with them. I just think it's a really great tool because, especially for young people, we live in such a sexualized society, but it's such a great book and it's such a great tool where actually it takes it all back to the basics, really looks at what the Bible says about it, and God's view on sex and what God says about it. And I just think, even if you are 13 and you've got no intention of being in a relationship, it is still a fantastic tool. It's actually called On Top, Your Personal Study Guide to Holistic Sexuality. So I would recommend that, as well as, I don't know if you or Nay are talking about the other book.
The other one I was going to mention was Dating Delilah, which is what we did years ago in youth. I don't know if it's available anywhere though.
You might be able to get it. It's by Judah Smith. You might be able to get it. Dating Delilah. I mean, we've used it through youth. It's a great book. Really on the subject of compromise, really, and goes through the story of Samson and Delilah and how Samson compromised his calling for a relationship. And so I think that is just a great book where it talks about that compromising for relationship, which many people do.
Awesome. Well, incredible. We're on to our last segment, Nathan.
Yes.
Which is over to you. Best till last.
Yeah, so we're going to head over to the other stage. We're going to thank Ben and Hannah for their input. Thank them in the chat. You can follow me. Come on, let's go. Because tonight, I want to talk to you and give you an opportunity. And give you an opportunity tonight to really know Jesus. You see, we've talked about relationships. And we've mentioned, and I mentioned right at the start, this verse that I think defines the Jesus way of relationships. And it was this: we love because he first loved us. And it's that relationship for each and every one of us that is key. Ben has mentioned it a lot. That relationship with Jesus is key for each and every one of us. And so whoever you are, wherever you find yourself tonight, whatever life looks like, I want you to know that Jesus loves you, that he's for you, and that he wants to know you in your life. You see, this tonight is about Jesus. Why we're talking about this, because we believe Jesus has more for us. He has more for each and every one of us. He has a great life for each and every one of us. Jesus even said this, that I have come that you might have life and life to the full. And so right now, you've never made that decision to follow Jesus. You've never made that decision in your heart and your life to accept his love and his acceptance and his grace. You might not have all the answers, but tonight, this is your first step. Then this moment's for you. Or tonight, you're watching, you're on this stream, and you would say, I've made that decision before, maybe in a service or at some other point. I've made that decision before, but I've walked away from that relationship, or that relationship needs to start again, then this moment's for you. Right now, our team are just posting a Zoom link. And if that's you tonight, you're making a decision for the first time, you're making a decision again. Some of our amazing youth leaders will be on that Zoom call. If you just join that Zoom call, join it with a friend, maybe even join it with a Connect leader. Maybe you're part of a Connect and you're wanting to make that decision. Maybe take this moment right now to send a message and say, will you join the Zoom call with me? Join that Zoom call. And we'd love to just spend a few moments just to pray for you. Now, there's no, nothing weird is going to happen on that Zoom. It's just basically we want to pray for you because we believe in the power of prayer. But also that link, that Zoom call is for every single one of us. Tonight, you've heard what we talked about, and you just want some prayer. You want some wisdom in your life over the area of relationships. You want to know Jesus more in your life. You've made that decision. You would say, I'm following Jesus, but you want to know Jesus more, then I want to encourage you to join that Zoom call as well. Again, message a Connect leader, message a friend, say, will you join that Zoom call with me? So right now, on the stream, here's what's going to happen. We're just going to have 5 minutes with Joe playing his keys. And it's a moment for you to join the Zoom call. If tonight you're making that decision, I want to encourage you, don't wait for another moment. This is your moment. If you're making that decision again, don't wait. Join that Zoom call. Don't wait for another moment. Or if you want prayer, join it with a friend, join it with a Connect leader right now. Do that, and then 5 minutes, nothing's going to happen on the stream. It's just going to be a 5-minute countdown with Joe playing the keys. And then straight afterwards, the youth sound team are going to join. If you don't join the Zoom call, I want you to take this moment. See, the Bible says, be still and know that I am God. I want you to take a moment. Maybe you've never done this in your life, and just ask God to speak to you. Just ask God to speak to you right now in this moment when that countdown's happening and Joe's just playing keys, just right where you are in your room, wherever you find yourself. Be still and know that I am God. So, join that Zoom call, making a decision again. You want prayer, join that Zoom call, get a friend to go with you, get a Connect leader to go with you. But even if you've got no one to go with you, I want to encourage you, join it. Our team would love to pray for you. We're going to start the 5-minute countdown now, and we'll see you back here in 5 minutes.
Come on, let's sing this together. The one who died, who was raised to life, you made a way for me. Now I can sing, giving everything. Your love is all I need. The one who died, who was raised to life, you made a way for me. Now I can sing, giving everything. Your love is all I need. Come on. The one who died, who was raised to life, you made a way for me. Now I can sing, giving everything. Your love is all I need. This love is unending, your heart never changing. A love that's for me, it overwhelms me. This hope is forever, your grace without measure. A love that's for me, it overwhelms me. Come on, let's give him praise tonight.
Wow, what an incredible night we've had tonight. Let's give it up for the band and for Nathan and Hannah and Ben for that message tonight. If you've got any questions about anything we've spoken about, do not be afraid to ask your Connect leader. They'd love to help you understand this more, or if you've got any queries, we're happy to help you out. But right now, we've got a little message from someone talking about Fortnite. I'm going to pretend like I know what that is. But yeah, let's listen to what this is, and then we're going to party out. Also, we've got youth next Friday and church this Sunday. So let's be here, be in the comments. Youth still own the comments on a Sunday night, let's be honest. But yeah, we'll see you on Sunday, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Let the games begin. Anticipating the main event.
Hey, IKON Youth. My name's Jacob, and I just want to tell you about something exciting we're going to be doing on Thursday. We'll be playing some Fortnite. So if you're interested in that, maybe you're a gamer, you know, you could maybe be playing on the Nintendo Switch, or maybe you've got a boring little Xbox, or maybe, just maybe, you're one of the A-star top tier gamers and you've got yourself a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4, still better than Xbox. Don't at me in the comments. PlayStation is the ultimate console. But anyway, if you want to play Fortnite on Thursday, then why don't you can talk to your Connect leader about it. You can message at ikon.youth on Instagram, put in your gamer tag. We're just going to play like Team Deathmatch, or we'll play, we played one last week where me and Josh Wakelin actually drew. I know, I drew for first place. You know why? Because Liam DePledge didn't play, so thank you for not turning up to that, Liam, because I actually managed to actually kill some people, so I don't think that'll happen this week, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Turn up on Thursday for Fortnite to watch me annihilate Yeomans.
We're going to do it every 2 weeks, just have loads of fun, maybe look at some other games as well. So I know some people play Rocket League, I'm trying to think what else, maybe Mario Kart on Switch. I've never played Animal Crossing. I don't know if you can, that could be something. I know Rosie Heats is mad on Animal Crossing at the moment, so maybe she can tell us more about that. Obviously FIFA is a big one as well. I don't think anyone will beat me. I'm putting it out there that no one will beat me at FIFA. I'd love to give you a game. Yeah, looking forward to gaming with you all. See you soon.
What an incredible night you've had together. Let's party out right now.
eyes.